Caution, spoilers ahead for the latest episode of Season 8 threw a proverbial spanner into the works when lead protagonist Rick glanced up and saw a helicopter cruising through the sky, a surefire indication of advanced wider civilization if ever there was one. Although clearly intrigued by this development, Rick's pressing war against Negan remains his primary focus. This isn't the first time a flying chopper has been spotted back in the very first episode. A horse-riding Rick attempted to follow a military helicopter and subsequently found himself among a pack of walkers. Later, in Season 3, the governor and his men found a crashed helicopter and later slaughter the pilot's comrades and steal their supplies. In both of these instances, the chopper's presence advanced the plot, but Rick's sighting in The Big Scary U had no immediately obvious connection to the current story. This makes the scene even more interesting. Related is The Walking Dead setting up a Rick-Daryl conflict. And of course, the further into the zombie apocalypse ventures, the more unusual each sighting of developed civilization becomes. With this in mind, what could Rick's latest helicopter sighting possibly mean for Season 8 and beyond? The Commonwealth. This mysterious group has barely debuted in comic series and very little is currently known about them. In a recent issue, Rick sent a scouting party consisting of Michonne, Eugene, Sadiq, Magna, Yumiko and hilarious newcomer Princess to meet with a new community Eugene had already made contact with, and the group soon encounter what is referred to as the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth are extremely well armed and supplied by zombie apocalypse standards and appear somewhat militaristic in nature, with their troops sporting matching machine guns and futuristic white body armor. Franchise creator Robert Kirkman has described them as the largest group Rick has ever encountered, but details remain scarce for now. Despite the lack of information available on this community, they are arguably the only active settlement in canon who would have the resources to be flying a helicopter around this far into the apocalypse. Could Rick's sighting be planting the seeds for a TV version of the Commonwealth? Way ahead of schedule. The Fat Lady, The Big Scary U featured several scenes of Negan's lieutenants having board meetings as they tried and failed to rule the sanctuary without their omnipotent leader. During one such exchange, Regina suggested getting a small group out through the horde to a nearby outpost and having them return with something called the Fat Lady. Related, Negan confesses in an almost great episode of The Walking Dead. As of yet, there's no indication as to experience in dealing with large crowds of zombies. However, it's fair to assume that the Fat Lady is, in fact, a weapon capable of ending the sanctuary siege, worthy of having its own dramatic code name. So, it could be related to the RPGs mentioned by Negan earlier in the episode, perhaps the .50 caliber machine gun seen last week, or it could even be a bomb of some description. But the Fat Lady could also be a helicopter. Thus far in S. All-Out War arc, Negan's saviors have taken a thorough beating, and it's impossible to escape the feeling that the villains will soon strike back with a vengeance. One particularly memorable scene from the comic books saw Negan and his cohorts glee lobbing grenades over the fences of Alexandria to great effect. Could the AMC adaptation possibly tweak this event so that the explosives are thrown from a helicopter, thus giving the saviors their first conclusive win? Page 2 of 212.